All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I've got a couple of interesting stories for you guys today. The first story that I have for you guys today is kind of a dual story about Hafthor Bjornsson, a physique update, and an update on his boxing match in January. So first up, the physique update. We know that in a recent Twitch stream, Hafthor was talking about the fact that he's lost over 100 pounds in his preparation for his upcoming fight with Eddie Hall, which will be in September of 2021. But he does have a fight in January of 2021, which is this month. So he posted this physique update, and if we do a side-by-side here of this physique update compared to a physique update from him leading up to his deadlift world record attempt when he did the 501 kgs, he was weighing upwards of 450 pounds for that. In these recent pictures, he's weighing around the 350 mark. I think he might be a little under that now. But you can certainly tell that Hafthor has made a serious effort to take off some weight, work on conditioning, work on getting faster, work on getting lighter on his feet for his fight with Eddie Hall, which, again, is going to be in September. But let's talk about this fight that he has coming up here on January 15th. This is going to be an exhibition match between Hafthor Bjornsson and a professional boxer by the name of Stephen Ward. So the announcement about the fight is that it has been moved now to Dubai, Conrad, Dubai, because of current restrictions. So the location has been changed. It was originally scheduled to take place in Reykjavik, Iceland, but now it's moving to Dubai, I guess, to work its way around those restrictions. But the interesting part here is the fight is going to happen, the exhibition, I should say, is going to happen on January 15th. But it's not going to be streamed until the next day, according to the post on Core Sports World. So apparently the next day, it will be free to watch on coresports.world on that website, also on Hafthor's YouTube channel and his Twitch channel on January 16th. And they say stay tuned for broadcast times. But the interesting part here, the very end of the Core Sports post here says, Hafthor's first of several fights in the month leading up to the showdown with Eddie Hall in Vegas. So there's going to be multiple fights with Hafthor Bjornsson over the course of the next 9 months. We've got about 9 months between now and Hafthor's fight with Eddie. So I'm wondering how many opponents he's going to have or how many fights, if he's going to do one every couple months, one every quarter, one every month. Who knows? But I honestly wouldn't get your hopes up too high for an exhibition fight. I don't think we're going to see anybody get knocked out. I think this is going to be kind of, in essence, just a warm-up for Hafthor to get him used to being in a ring, get him used to being in an actual fight, not just sparring. But I don't think we're going to see anything crazy happen in these exhibitions. And the boxer that he's fighting, Stephen Ward, is significantly smaller, probably by over 100 pounds. So it's going to be interesting to see if this is kind of a speed training for him to try to keep up with someone who's much lighter, much faster, much quicker, much smaller. That could be the whole idea of this exhibition. And the fact that it's going to be free definitely makes me lean more towards that idea. But I'm very fascinated in this whole Eddie Hall versus Hafthor Bjornsson saga because we've seen that anything can happen with these quote-unquote celebrity boxing matches. In the case of the Paul brothers, Logan Paul went from a YouTuber to a professional boxer to having a fight with Floyd Mayweather in less than 2 years' time. That was his transition from YouTuber to boxer to fighting Floyd Mayweather. Then, of course, his little brother Jake Paul, just knocked out the NBA player Nate Robinson. So I'm curious what, if anything, could come of this fight with Eddie Hall and Hafthor Bjornsson. Either they both look terrible, or one of them looks fantastic, and it becomes like a crazy super heavyweight boxer, and goes on to maybe have an even bigger kind of promotion, celebrity boxing match with another big guy. You know, maybe Eddie or Thor turn out to have crazy boxing skills for the giants that they are, and they fight someone like Shaq. Who knows? This whole celebrity boxing thing has been going crazy lately, and I'm really curious to see where it goes. Now, next up in the news, a little bit of a physique update from Nick Walker. Now, there's a name that we haven't talked about in a while. Nick Walker, who turned pro earlier this year, just got his pro card. This is his rookie year, made his rookie debut, his pro debut, at the Chicago Pro earlier this year, back in October, I guess that was already. It feels like a lifetime ago. Took fourth at that pro debut in Chicago, and really, he's one of the guys that I think is going to be one of the fastest rising stars in bodybuilding. Super young guy, early 20s. And we've talked a lot about the crazy size that Nick Walker carries, the fact that he's, pretty young guy to be the mass monster that he is. We talked a lot about his upper body, but in this particular physique update, he shows some clips from his hamstring training session. You really see how freaking big this guy's legs are. Yes, Nick's got pretty ridiculous upper body size, but his legs are insane too. And I've said this many times. I think he's going to be one of the guys that's going to be the future of professional bodybuilding. Younger guys like him and Hunter Labrada making these big statements at their first major pro shows. Hunter taking the placing that he took at the Olympia. Nick Walker making a first call out at his first pro show ever, with a little bit more, stage experience, a little bit more improvement, a little bit more polish. I think these guys are going to be the guys that are in the conversation, for top 6 at every show, top 6 at the Olympia, top 10 at the Olympia. Hell, Hunter Labrada already is in that conversation as a top 10 Olympian. But I think these are the guys that 5-10 years from now, maybe not 10 years, that seems like a little bit of a long time, but they would only be in their mid-30s by then. But these guys could be like the Dennis Wolfs, the Rolly Winklers, the Branch Warrens, the perennial top placers, Arnold Classic winners, big show, the guys that you talk about whenever any big show comes up that they're in, these are the guys gunning for the win. And I've said it before, but I think Nick and Hunter in particular, this year's, 2 rookie pros, they're some of the best rookie pros we've had in a very long time, and I think they're really going to do some damage in the upcoming years. All right, now next up in the news, I wanted to show you guys this physique update from Shaun Clarida. This was apparently at 1 week out from the 2020 212 Olympia, which Shaun won. And I guess this was his final update sent to his coach, Matt Jansen, before the show. And this was posted on the Mr. Olympia LLC Instagram page. And I just wanted to share it with you guys because I'm becoming more of a fan of Shaun Clarida. The more updates and the more that I see of his physique, just the more impressed I am with what he brought to the stage this year, the improvements that he made. He put on a significant amount of weight. I believe like 10 pounds between last year and this year, and he looked incredible. I mean, his conditioning was insane. His physique, 212 is for shorter guys anyway, and I've said this before, but he's a shorter guy even in the 212 lineup. I think he's like 5 feet tall. And his weight in this video is 181 pounds. He looks like a miniature Ronnie Coleman is what he reminds me of. And who else at 181 pounds looks this insane, has this much muscle packed onto their physique? And just the more that I see, like I said, the more that I see of Shaun, the more impressed I am by the physique that he's got. And I really like the fact that his nickname is the Giant Killer in a division where technically it's all smaller guys, 212. But the fact that he's a smaller guy in a division of smaller guys, I think just makes him even more impressive. And I'm really impressed by his physique, and I've definitely become a fan of his this year after seeing what he was able to do at this year's Mr. Olympia. And I think a lot of you guys have seen this video already, but there's a video of him pumping up backstage at the Olympia where he looks pretty insane as well. And again, just look at this guy. For a guy that weighs 181 or less pounds, who else has a physique this insane at 180 pounds? It's mind-blowing how good he looked. It's extremely impressive. Hell, right now I'm 30 pounds heavier than he was at the Olympia right now. I'm about 210. And I'll tell you right now, I don't look anything like how he looked at 180 pounds at the Olympia. It's insane. So the final story that I wanted to talk about today was a recent physique update from Steve Laureus. So Steve Laureus, classic physique competitor, and a very impressive classic physique at that. One of the more aesthetic guys in the classic physique lineup, one of the smaller waists in the classic physique lineup, which is saying something in a division where that is the most important quality pretty much of each athlete. Now, Steve was 7th at the 2018 Olympia in classic physique. He was runner-up at the 2019 Arnold Classic in classic physique, and at the 2020 Arnold Classic, he was 3rd in classic physique. So this is a top-tier classic physique competitor, but we have not seen him back at the Olympia since that 2018 showing. So we didn't see him this year, we didn't see him last year. So one of the main criticisms of Steve Laureus has been that while he's very aesthetic, he's a taller guy, and he looks a little bit lanky on stage. His conditioning is usually pretty good, but he needs to fill out a little bit. So this physique update, to me, says I'm filling out from Steve Laureus. It looks like he's put on some weight. It looks like he's put on some size, and he looks thick in this physique update, thick with 2 C's. And I think that's a good sign. That's what we want to see from Steve. We know that he's got the structure. We know that he's got the shape. We know that he's got the crazy small waist. We know he's got all those things that are very important in classic physique, but I think he does and has needed a little bit more size to be competitive with some of these guys. While it is a classic physique competition, and it's really about aesthetics, and it's really about shape, at the end of the day, it is kind of a light version of bodybuilding. The judges still want to see some muscle mass on these guys. Not to say that Steve didn't have any, but some of these guys are pretty muscular guys. Like Chris Bumstead this year brought a ton of muscle to the classic physique stage. It's just put together differently than you would in men's open. So this physique update from Steve Laureus, it makes me anticipate what he's going to bring this year. I mean, 2021 is going to be, hopefully, a very eventful year for bodybuilding and for classic physique as more guys, get back into competing. I think there were quite a few guys who ended up taking the rest of 2020 off and not doing the Olympia, not doing the rest of the shows. And hopefully Steve Laureus is one of those guys that we get to see compete in 2021. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below about all the stories we discussed today. As always, subscribe to the channel. If you have not subscribed already, give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Just give it a thumbs up to support the video, help it grow, help it get views, and just thumbs up if you enjoy the channel. As always, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. Nick Strength and Power, signing out.